The Storm Desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. A Super El Nino headline just hit your feed. Biggest event in decades. And somewhere, a sales manager is already drawing crews onto a map of the plains, saying, "This is our year. You run a roofing company from the Texas Panhandle to the Dakotas." By the end of this, you will know how to turn that signal into a hail operating system, not a route plan. The Pacific does not knock doors. You do. Start with what the agency actually said. On June 11th, NOAA's Climate Prediction Center upgraded to an El Nino advisory. Conditions are present and expected to strengthen. El Nino is the warm phase of a Pacific cycle that ripples into our weather. They put the odds of a very strong event near 63%, among the largest since 1950. Here's the catch. That number describes the winter ocean peak. It is not a hail forecast for your service area. Now the part that should stop the staffing meeting cold. The hype says Super El Nino means a hail boom. The science says the opposite for the southern plains. NOAA's own explainer is plain. El Nino springs tend to bring fewer tornadoes and hailstorms to the southern Great Plains. La Niña springs bring more. El Nino weakens the winds that pull warm Gulf moisture over Texas, and storms need that fuel. Price the season on the label, and you priced it backwards. Two cautions keep that from being a forecast you can route on. First, it's a tilt in the odds across many seasons, not a verdict on any one spring. Plenty of El Nino years still through violent, expensive plains hail. Second, the signal is strongest in late winter and early spring. The link to early summer storms, when high plains hail often peaks, is loose. So be ready earlier. Don't pre-commit crews and ad spend to a Pacific index. Here's why the plains still earn your attention, with or without the Pacific. Strip El Nino out, and this is still where the country's hail lives. The triangle from West Texas, up through Kansas, Nebraska, and eastern Colorado to the western Dakotas, is the most hail-prone stretch in America. On the high plains, the freezing level sits closer to the ground, so stones land bigger. That geography is your real planning calendar. A climate index does not move it. Now the mistake that wastes more crews than bad weather ever will. Treating the plains like one market. It isn't. A North Texas metro storm and a western Nebraska farm country storm produce completely different work. Build coverage around lanes. Southern Plains metro, dense demand, heavy contractor noise. High plains, bigger stones, long drives, sparse reporting. Front range edge, subdivisions and fierce competition. Rural farm belt, metal, outbuildings, harvest schedules. Lay your service map over those lanes, and you'll see where your business actually is. Lane economics decide your spring more than the forecast does. In the high plains, the route math is unforgiving. A verified large hail report 70 miles out might be a great job or a money pit, depending on how many qualified roofs sit in that swath. Working blind, you knock 200 doors, and half have 3-year-old roofs. That is payroll lit on fire. Know your roof stock before the drive. Then the long drive becomes a decision, not a gamble. So put your sources on a ladder, because that tells you what you're allowed to do. Rung 1 is the ENSO discussion. Awareness, nothing more. Rung 2 is regional climatology, for lane planning. Rung 3 is the SPC convective outlook. A moderate risk day means rest the crews and load the trucks, not knock doors before a storm. Rung 4 is the dated storm report. Rung 5 is property evidence on the actual house. El Nino is never a release gate. And know how shaky the top rungs are. Because reps who treat a radar map as gospel get burned. Storm reports are human eyeballs sizing a stone against a coin. People round up and miss large hail across empty country. MESH, the maximum estimated size of hail, infers size from energy aloft and tends to underestimate the largest stones. So a swath on a map is a hint about where to look, not a finding about any roof. Use it to send people. Let the inspection decide what's true at the address. When age decides the route, two things move a roof up your list. First, the 15-year line. Architectural asphalt shingles in hail country realistically run about 20 to 25 years. Manufacturers flag 15 years as the point a roof deserves a real look. Second, ventilation. A poorly vented attic cooks shingles from below, so a 14-year-old roof that can't breathe can be functionally older than an 18-year-old one. That's why age is a range, never a date. The estimate tells you which roofs are worth climbing. The ladder and the camera do the rest. Impact-resistant shingles come up in nearly every replacement talk, and the claims get inflated fast. Two standards matter. UL 2218 drops steel balls and rates shingles. Class 1 through 4. A Class 4 survives a 2-inch ball from 20 feet without cracking the mat. IBHS now fires lab-made hailstones instead for a more realistic read. Here's the honest line. Impact resistant means more resistant, not hail-proof. No shingle is guaranteed against real hail. The legitimate hook is usually insurance, since several hail states encourage these roofs through premium credits. Point the owner to their carrier and the State Department. Now the line that ends careers, and most roofers cross it without knowing. After a storm, the territory crawls with chasers who knock hard, push instant contracts, and vanish. Look different by being the documentation company. You inspect, photograph, and let the homeowner decide. You document what you see and write an estimate. You do not handle the claim. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim, and the deductible is theirs. Offering to absorb, rebate, or waive a deductible is illegal in many states. Don't do it, and train your reps that they can't promise it. Then gate every route release behind a written file, because the gate is where the money is saved. Make it a checklist, not a gut call. Market lane identified. Storm report pulled, with date and status. Service area boundary drawn. Roof age and material mix written. Supplier and disposal confirmed. Crew drive time and safety confirmed. And the one that saves the most, the do not chase flag. Too far, too thin, too weakly sourced. If any line is blank, the route does not release. Before you spend $1 chasing strangers, work the cheapest list you already own, your old book. Every estimate you lost 5 or 8 years ago is a home that has since aged into the window where hail and time catch up. Those owners know your name and cost nothing to reach. Cross that list against 2 things, an estimated roof age range and the storm exposure since you last talked. Sort it, oldest and most exposed on top. Then drop the recently re-roofed homes off entirely. Skipping the fresh roofs is as valuable as finding the old ones. Here's where Roof Predict fits, and where it doesn't. It pairs an estimated roof age range with storm physics modeled per individual home, not per zip code, so you flag the roofs a real storm most likely wore out, and skip the brand new ones before anyone burns diesel. It also holds the lane, source date, and roof age range in one file per home. A targeting and record-keeping layer. It does not forecast weather, detect hail, inspect roofs, diagnose damage, or decide coverage. Roof age is a range for planning, not a date. The eyes on the roof and the claim still belong to qualified people. Close the loop. NOAA confirmed a strengthening El Nino, peaking very strong this winter. Real signal. Not a hail forecast, and if anything, a quieter southern plains spring than the hype sells. So plan the system, not the swath. Flex capacity. Build coverage by lane. Treat ENSO as the top rung that earns you awareness and nothing else. Then let dated reports, roof age, and your own eyes on the roof carry the rest. The chaser sells the headline. You build the operating system. The Pacific does not knock doors, you do.